Shalom, friends. So, as believers, we often say we want to know Jesus, or we know Jesus. But if we only know him as a character in Sunday school, and not as the real Jesus of the New Testament, the real Jesus that's grounded in history, the Jewish son of David, we are missing the foundations of our faith. When we strip our Savior of his history, his people, and his context, we do not get a universal Jesus. We get a ghost Jesus that can be twisted to serve anyone's agenda. I was reading this book by N.T. Wright, Jesus and the Victory of God, and I came across a quote by a man named Ernest Käsemann. So in 1953, Käsemann stood before a group of students in Germany. He was a German theologian, of course. He had just lived through the nightmare of Second World War II. And he realized that the reason so many churches remained silent while the Jewish people were persecuted was because the churches had stopped preaching the historical Jesus. They had turned the Messiah into a generic Western Aryan hero. Käsemann gave this famous warning, quote, "If Jesus is not earthed in history, then he might be pulled in any direction. He might be made the hero of any political program," end quote. In other words, because the church and the universities in Germany during this time stopped teaching that Jesus was a Jew that had been born in a specific time and place in history, the Nazis were able to build a Christianity that actually hated the Jewish people. And to my Christian friends watching this, we need to be honest. Today, many of our churches are doing the same thing. We are passive. The churches are teaching a Jesus that is a kind of a generic Jesus, a teacher of love, but they ignore the Messiah who came to fulfill the promises made to Israel. So by staying silent about the Jewish roots of our faith, academia and the church have left a vacuum. When we don't earth Jesus in his Jewish context, it becomes easy for people to see the Jewish people as the other, rather than the family our Savior was born into. We're seeing a terrifying rise in anti-Semitism, not only in the West, but also everywhere. And this is like anti-Semitism, the simple definition of it is hatred toward Jewish people. And it's everywhere, and it's rising. As Messianics and Christians, we have to realize this is the result of a disconnected faith. Käsemann argued that if you do not know who was died on the cross, who is the real Jesus, the King of the Jews, you have no solid ground to stand on. If your Jesus isn't Jewish, he's not the real Jesus. It's time to stop preaching a Messiah who has no home and no history. If we want to stand against the darkness of hate and anti-Semitism today, we must return to the truth. Yeshua is the Lion of Judah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He didn't come to start a new religion that's completely unconnected with the face of Israel. He came as the fulfillment of the word of the Lord. When we realize this, we should preach the real historical Jesus in our churches and in our Messianic congregations. When we earth our faith in his real Jewish history, we find the strength to stand for the truth and against hate. So, my friends, let's stop preaching a fake Jesus that has no historical ground and start following the real Messiah. Shalom.